Okay, good morning, everybody. Hope you all had a great weekend. Let's get a screen up really quick before we open. Oh, we're just opening now. All right. Screen is up. We've just opened. Holy Earth is in the chat. Good morning to you. Nils, good morning. Peter, Crypto, Amar, JB, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, where everyone is even, sorry. How was all of your weekends? I hope it was good. All right, we're back again, still trading the challenge account. We opened up with a weekend gap, by the way. Harsh, good morning. Mark, great to see you. So we opened up on a big weekend gap. Let me just modify these gaps and get rid of that. So yeah, if I just remove all this, you can see nice big gap. The black line is basically the top of the gap. So I'm waiting for a gap fill, which we almost got. And then, I mean, I'll be looking at potentially taking a short. Yeah, if it lines up, why not? But it is a very bullish market, so it will have to be a bit of a cautious short. Let me just make sure DX Futures is all lined up. Yep, everything's lined up. Good. Daniel, good to see you. Peter, Coach Z, good morning, all of you. How was all of your weekends? Let me know. Let me just get my cash account up. On that screen, minimize it, make it a bit smaller so I can see the chat. Beautiful. All right. Everything is ready and loaded. Cool. Okay, let's have a look. So the open, have I got my little pen tool? I do have my pen tool. So the open was not, I don't know. I still think we're going up. We haven't really, I mean, we could, it's hard to say. I mean, 12 points, 13 points from the gap. Nah, I think there's still a gap fill going to happen. I think this is nothing more. I'm just going to see if some buyers come in. 135, 120, 119. If I see a big chunk of buyers, I'm gonna go in buy. 200. Still sellers coming in, but they're starting to. Oh, we're above those sellers. I still have yet to see a chunk of buyers. So I haven't actually entered yet. Come on, show me something. 65. It's not good enough. All right, fuck it. Let's do it. Let's go in. I'm going to see if these buyers can hold it. My stop will have to be literally below there. I mean, we're so close to that gap, actually. I should have probably waited for that, but we shall see. And then we can go all the way at the top here for our TP. And let's see if the buyers can really hold their own. So basically, we want these buyers to, we kind of want to stay above them. We don't really want to get much lower than here. If we go down below here, we want to be out. So let me actually set the stop to be about right. All right, let's see. I've got my finger on flatten just in case. All right, some buyers coming in a bit higher up. That's what I want to see. I want to see them squeeze out these sellers here. Come on, let's keep reloading, boys. Let's keep reloading. We could probably get to the gap fill, to be honest, so I can keep my take profit a bit higher. The gap fill is at 840, give or take. So around there somewhere. Oh, those buyers are struggling a bit. I think that's some of those sellers getting squeezed out. So hopefully no new sellers come in because they might take this opportunity to short the market. So we want to get, that's it. That's what we want to see. Nice and above. Good. Let's keep that momentum. I will look at the chat in a second, just keeping this momentum going. Beautiful. Come on. One last push to that gap fill. Again, sellers dropping out. You can see those numbers spiking on the buy side. That's sellers dropping out. As long as buyers keep reloading like that, we should be okay. Come on, buyers, don't fail here. Reload. Sellers are trying to come back in. Come on, get above that 73. Let's get above that 85. Oh, come on, stay above. Good. Stay above it. That's it. Keep adding. That's what we want to see. Good. Big chunk of sellers came in. There's a little bit of a struggle here. We don't want to go much lower. Ah, you bastards. Come on, buyers. Don't fail here now. Come on. Ah, they're starting to struggle here. I might flatten. Come on, give them a last chance to get it up. Because I'm assuming these buyers want to get a good price before they jump in. There you go, 48, 57, 82, 97, 86, 78. Come on, keep reloading. That's it. 94, 100. Good, good. Come on. And they just stop reloading at the top there. Every time we get to the top, the buyers just don't really come in with pressure. And I don't like this volume distribution, truth be told. So I think I'm going to get out here. I don't like the volume distribution at all. So do I think the gap fill is going to happen? I still do, but we may just go all the way back down or even a bit lower and then eventually back up. So might as well leave it at that. Just, I don't like this volume distribution. The majority of the buyers being at the top. And what happened in these two little nodes here, these clusters just didn't fill me with that much confidence, truth be told. When we got there, they stopped the buyers. Just stopped adding to their position. So I feel like they're waiting for a bit more of a better price. They do come in a bit lower down, the buyers. Truth, like here, they're happy to transact, but the top there, it's just they're a little bit weak, and that could unfortunately give the opportunity for sellers to push it down. So we'll leave it at that. Now they're coming in a bit, but let's see if they can actually break above. Are they willing to add when we get to the top? Not really, you see, they just kind of fell, and the volume distribution is looking not very good. Look at all those buyers at the top. Sellers are happy to kind of trade below them. I don't think it's ready yet. Wajid, good morning to you. Henny, how are you? Alexis, great to see you. And May, how are you doing? Good morning, everybody. So I think this might be a bit choppy in this area, because buyers just don't have enough confidence at the top here. I mean, if we drop down a bit again, maybe back down around this kind of area, and we see buyers come in, I wouldn't be opposed to entering again. But I'd rather just lock in, rather than wait for the retracement, I'd rather just lock in a bit of profit. You know, can't force the market to do what you want it to do, sadly. Everything's always a domino effect, you know. Pratik, good morning. How are you? Here we go. We're going back down. All right. Let's see if buyers are willing to try and take control again. Maybe at this gap here. All right. A bit of buyers coming in. Nothing yet. Oh, that's a lot of sellers. These clusters are becoming very small, so I'm going to bump it up to 20. Just make it a little bit visually easier to see. All right, there's a bit of buying coming in, but it trickled in. It didn't really come in nice chunks. So I'm not really too interested. We do have that low, so I'm expecting the volume to spike in and around this area. That was a big chunk of buyers. We went from 120 to negative 60, but they reloaded the sellers. They're not. There's a bit of a spike in volume. Just trying to see when will this when do the sellers start failing? They're failing a bit here, but buyers are not really aggressive right now. 41, 63. Sellers keep reloading. Notice how the sell numbers keep reloading in chunks. Like, don't get me wrong, they're struggling a bit here, but they are reloading, meaning sellers are willing to keep shorting at the bottom, which makes them dangerous because they can, as long as they keep that kind of pressure on, they will break through. Come on. All right, now some buyers are trickling in, but it's small. It's not. Oh, there was a bit of a chunk of buyers. Went from like 16 to like 80 or something. That wasn't terrible. I am debating whether to go in, but I want to see the sellers kind of give up a little bit. I'm going to hold off going in, to be honest. I was just a little bit. I mean, there was a chunk in buyers, to be fair. I think it was here. You saw it, but I feel like they're just not going to take it. They're not. Let me see what happens here. Yeah, see, sellers are still willing to short it. This is what I don't like. This is why my spidey sensors were a bit. I just don't like how sellers are still willing to short at the bottom here. They're not giving up, the sellers, and that's an issue. We need them to give up because I don't think buyers are aggressive enough to outpace the sellers at this moment in time. 63. I'm trying to look at the numbers, see how they're jumping. 50, 80. Yeah, see, like they're going up in like 20, 30 chunks. That was a bigger chunk there, but they are getting absorbed. If I see the sell numbers, oh, that was nice. That speed we had there. I like that. All right, I'm going to jump in for a buy because I like what I saw there, how we got away from those sellers very quickly. So really, my stop can be essentially below those sellers right there. All right. All I liked was just the speed of it. The sellers were coming in strong and then we instantly just went above them. But I didn't see much buy volume come in. That's the only kind of thing missing right now. I can have my stop here below that low. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm hoping the buyers are going to come in with some aggression. They need to come in now. I just like that speed. And it kind of happened a bit there again. You see how quickly the candle moved up, but there wasn't that many sellers, so it wasn't really as good. But we need buyers to come in, heavy buyers. If they want to push this market up, they need to come in now. Create a bit of momentum, a bit of speed, and it should be good. Come on, boys. Come on. I don't like this. I don't like the volume distribution. See, what I don't like at the moment is the fact that, all right, we're kind of trading within where all the buyers came in, but we're very close to potentially squeezing out all these buyers. People like me who have entered are going to be very potentially, and if we get a little bit too low, there's a good chance a lot of buyers are just going to start dropping out and be like, maybe this ain't it yet, and wait for the next move. And sellers keep piling it on. So I'm a little bit. The only thing I really liked was what happened here. That speed looked really good. And the reason I like that is because it indicates there was a big buyer that just wiped out a large amount of sellers. So I'm hoping that buyer actually defends and is willing to add more rather than potentially get out if it gets too hot for him. So I want to see big buy numbers come in. It's a little bit better here. Come on, now really just keep that momentum so we can break through and the sellers give up. Come on. I see. Oh, let me just readjust. This is a very, very choppy little 1 minute range here. Don't like it. The buyers failed again. The volume distribution, we're trading below buyers. Like it. My trading view has frozen. There it is. It's back. Hopefully I'm still live. It looks like it. Okay, we're good. We are okay. Truth be told, if nothing really happens in the next few minutes, I'm probably going to just get out of this trade because it's becoming very 50-50 now. Now that we're in this kind of tight little range, up and down, and I am more at the higher end of the range, I don't like it. And I'm still seeing sellers willing to come in, which is a little bit annoying. The buyers just haven't. A little bit there, but it's starting to look a bit 50-50. I think the edges starting to erode away. Look at that. Buyers are coming in a little bit, but they're not really pushing it up anymore. They're starting to fail. Sellers are coming in strong below them. It's not a good sign. I need to see buyers get quickly above those sellers. One swift move, one big order. But this has become very 50-50 now. I think the sellers might take a look. They're willing to transact lower down, these damn sellers. They're looking a little bit better, to be honest. Come on, buyers. Where is that buyer? It was around here somewhere, where that 111 is. They are still kind of defending because the sellers are struggling to get below that 111. But if they keep this up, they are going to get below. It's just going to be a bit more. It's just going to take a few more attempts for the sellers to, to break through. But I'm not seeing magic with the buyers right now. I'm not seeing anything too great. Come on, boys. See, the sellers are coming in again and again and again. Yeah, look at that, 89, 71. Come on, get above them. Get above them. One more stab at it, buyers. Come on. Let's do it now. There we go. That's it. Add a bit of volume higher up. Oh, you finally. Now I was getting a little worried there. All right, but that's all sellers getting stopped out. But we need these numbers to keep increasing. Otherwise, it's a fake out and sellers are just going to use it as a way of, look at that. They pushed them right back down again. Sellers just used it as fuel. So I will probably be getting out now. If we go, yeah, sellers just used it as fuel. I don't think the buyers are going to come back from that. Nah. All right, I'm out. It's not going to happen. Close, but not quite. They just were a little bit too weak, unfortunately. They didn't have that momentum. All right, well, then we just wait for the next rotation. Good morning, Pratik. Sammy, do you trade news events? No, Pratik, I don't trade news events. I just stay away from news as a whole. ZT Content, good morning. How are you? All right, I'm just going to check if there's not really that much here, to be honest. We've got the point of control down here, which might be interesting. and get rid of this black line now. All right, we'll just wait for buyers to come back in nice big chunks and potentially, you know, make this market work. Dun, 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 dun. Right, okay. Nothing yet. Still a bit meh. Come on. Come on, boys. Where are you? Where are the buyers? We want the buyers. Oh, buyers, where are you? Not really doing anything yet. It's just gone a bit dead now, the market. There's a bit of a chunk of buyers, but I don't want to chase them yet because I feel like the sellers are not done. But then they are trapped at the bottom here, but that would have been, we'll see. I think that's just a few sellers getting, I don't think it's really, truly ready yet. I think it's going to be a very kind of wicky and spiky for a while. I just want to see something concrete, something really, really good. I want to see, in fact, what I would love to see right now is like heavy sellers come in, maybe get it down to like here, start failing, and then buyers come in here. That would be beautiful. That's what I want to see. Because I'm going to assume this volume here, majority of it is going to be stops, things of that nature. So this volume, let me just get rid of that. This volume is real. This is definitely stops from the sell side getting hit. That's real buy volume coming in. Let's see how effective they are. If they're able to stay afloat, it won't be too bad. I might look at going in. All right, I'm going to go in for another buy, and my stop is going to basically be below where those buyers came in, because it's down to those buyers there to keep the market up. Here we go. Nice. My stop can just be there. Good. All right. Did we take out? Oh, we did take it out. Okay, so we just took out that. I didn't quite see what happened there, to be honest. But sellers, look, right at the top again, willing to fricking do this. Sellers are being very, very annoying. They're still willing to short the market at every damn opportunity. We just need to see buyers willing to come in. So there's 2, 3, 4. I would say that's probably more likely stops, things of that nature. But if I remember correctly, it was around here. I think we saw the first like real buying coming in. If we ignore that volume, that was like the real buying. So it's really down to these fellas here to kind of hold this market up. Now, I want to see, that's exactly what I don't want to see, but I don't want to see sellers coming back in. I want to see them give up, finish, let it happen, stop entering, essentially. Because sellers are quite good right now. Like in general, they're quite efficient and aggressive. So I want to see these sellers fail here. If this fails and we get above those sellers, lovely, beautiful. That's it. That's what I want to see. Really get above them. Then I think sellers, that's it. That's what I want to see. There's some of those sellers dropping out now. Good. Good stuff. All right, let's keep that momentum. Let's keep it going. Let's not fail here. Come on. Again, that's mostly stops, things of that nature, that volume there. So I want to see that volume spike again. 122, 127, 106. You see sellers are coming in still. 160, 170, 140. So there's still big kind of chunks of sellers still not giving up, still willing to short the market. I am going to go to break even though, just to make it a little bit easier, because I am in my cash account on this trade as well. So I'd rather just keep my finger on exit on my cash and then just put that at break even, so I don't really have to worry too much about trying to exit on two accounts at the same time. That's it. Come on. Keep it going. I don't like, get above that 70. Get above it. Come on. Get above. Pop. Pop, you bastard. Come on. Get above him. That's it. Clear him out. Clear him out. Beautiful. Well done. Well done, boys. That's what we want to see. And again, got to get above that 67 now. Sellers still keep coming in. Get above that 37, that 73, that 84. Come on, get above them. Get above. Just wipe them out. Oh, they're adding. Wipe them out. That's it. That's it. Good. That's what we want to see. Just get ready to potentially start looking at exiting if it gets a little, because I see a lot of sellers trying to come in here. Come on, let's get above those sellers. Come on, buyers. Find your footing. What is, it's 840 is the, what do you call it? The gap close. Put it there. Let me manage this account. Get ready to, actually, I got my take profit set wrong. There we go. What was it? 840. Yeah. All right, cool. That's that sorted. Oh, yes. Nice. Nice. Come on, boys. Keep that momentum going. We just want green candle after green candle. Loving this volume distribution. Sellers at the bottom here. Buyers coming in. Beautiful. But again, sellers are still willing to enter every time. So we need to keep getting above them. Buyers need to be more aggressive and get above them and squeeze out seller candle per candle. They still haven't given up, these bastards. They're still trying to short the market. I don't know why, but they're still trying to short. And I don't, and realistically, at any point, they could take over. As soon as buyers kind of start failing to get above them, that's us out. You know, that's it. We'll take the money, because that could then be a pullback. Just like the first trade we entered, you know. Come on, get above. And it's got to happen, you know, within that minute or two. Like, you don't want to be waiting too long, otherwise we start ranging. And then when it's a range, you might as well just get the hell out. Come on, get above them. Come on. I'm not seeing anything too spectacular yet. We need to get above that 128 quickly. 27, 34. We need bigger numbers than that, boys. Come on. 40. Nah, they're not big enough. They're starting to slowly exhaust these buyers. This might be where we say adios to this trade. All right, I'm getting out of my cash. I'm out. I'm going to leave this one running a bit. See if the buyers just have some magic. Nah, it doesn't look good, does it? 67, 53, 90. Nah, they're adding. All right, we're out. It's just buyers were not willing to come in strong enough, which is a shame. They just weren't. They were just exhausted a bit at the top here, and we couldn't really get above that. Those sellers start adding here. Now, don't get me wrong; they could fail, and buyers might come in a little bit lower down and push them up again. But as a scalper, I'm not interested in. I'm just looking for that move, you know. Do you ever reverse position? Why not? JB, I never really reverse position. I don't know. I mean, it can work, but it's tough. Do you know what I mean? Like, I get out on the first sign of a red flag, essentially, and I give, you know, like here, I only got out because buyers were just not adding big enough numbers. They just weren't that interested, you know, up here. And we know that there were sellers in the market. And then when we got below them and we started seeing bigger sellers coming in, sellers were just a little bit more aggressive. But the reality is, if I reversed and now be in a short position here, I don't know. It's hard to know how far down this will go. Am I only go a point or two, and then buyers will just jump back in? Because buyers could come back in here, they could come back in here, they could. It's very hard to know. So it becomes. Do you know what I mean? It becomes quite difficult to kind of constantly reverse. Um, because truth, I wouldn't want to short here necessarily. I wouldn't be confident shorting here, but because we haven't had fresh buyers come in to test how good they are, right? The only reason I got out is because buyers just weren't coming in. There were just small. There wasn't enough interest. But if big buyers come in, say a buyer comes in with 100 contracts now, they could get this market up. But I don't know when they're going to come in, or if they're going to come in. That's like a big question mark. No one knows, right? So I wouldn't want to be in a short and then some buyer comes in here and just takes me out, and now I'm like, ah, shit. See, like buyers are starting to willing to come back in around here. And this is the first time we get to actually test these buyers and see how good they are. And we're seeing that they're not actually that great, these buyers, right? They try to get the market up with a bit more size, and they're just not really doing it. Sellers are still sort of coming in. So yeah, that is now a bit more confirmation if I wasn't a short to be like, okay, maybe sellers have got a bit more steam here because buyers just aren't that effective right now, you know? But they could have been. This is the problem. These buyers could have been effective. And there's no way of knowing at this point in time, A, where those buyers are going to come in. They could have come in anywhere. And B, we don't know how effective they are yet, because they haven't actually been tested yet. And you can start to see sellers. I mean, I'm assuming this is more buyers dropping out a lot of this volume, because you're seeing where a lot of buyers did come in earlier. They're probably break even, a lot of these buyers. But this is real sell volume, and look how effective those sellers are. Now buyers are willing to come in a bit lower, right? So it becomes a bit choppier. What does a zero on the delta imply? A zero, as in, like in one of these clusters, like for example, if this, instead of saying one, this was zero. Is that what you mean, Henny? Or are you talking about like the delta at the bottom here, like the actual candle delta or the cumulative delta? If the need to see side win and other side fail. It's the need to see side win. Yeah, you want to kind of test both sides. You want to see how, like if I want to go in for a long, I want to see two things. I want to see sellers fail. So right now we're seeing sellers come in. I'm asking myself, how effective are these sellers? They're okay. They are pushing the market down. And B, but say they weren't very good, right? Say they just couldn't get the market down here. Let's just say the candle is still here and they just weren't really able to get it down. That would be, one tick, like one kind of first, potential. And then the second thing is I want to see buyers come in and buyers actually able to get the market up a bit. That will be the second tick. And then, so I want to test, I want to see both sides enter the market with some kind of actual size, not just like a few contracts, like something that's like a bit decent, in order to gauge what is happening. I seem to remember you going over your footprint settings. Was that in a separate video afternoon? Yes, Goober. So there's a video on my channel called How to Set Up the Volume Footprint on TradingView. If you watch that video, I go over all the settings, all right? Peter, do you take the market open as a significant level? Very good question. Yes. So market open, actually, it depends on how the market opened. If there was like a big battle, like kind of what we had here, to be honest, there was a bit of a battle, right? It wasn't like a clear cut kind of, just went in one direction. We kind of went up and down, and then the sellers kind of took it a little bit. But essentially, we're kind of ranging, from the open. If you actually kind of just squint your eyes a bit, no one's really winning. We're still very much near. I mean, yes, the open was here, but we're pretty much kind of just sort of ranging a bit in that area. But say, for example, there was a bit of a battle here, and then sellers did take it and pushed it down, and then start creating bearish structure, and then we start coming closer to the market open. That might be it would be interesting to have a look. Are fresh sellers going to take that opportunity again to short at market open? Or if it happens really fast, say market opens and the sellers just push it down really quickly, and we get like a reversal type thing happen very fast, and we get back to the entry, we know that those sellers are probably still in the market. Are they exiting the market? Are they adding to their position? What happens at that area then becomes quite interesting in making a decision. No, the delta at the bottom, whole candle. So the delta at the bottom basically means there were no extra buyers, no extra sellers. Literally, I'm trying to see if there is a zero anywhere. No, there isn't anywhere. But it just means, there was equal amount of buy contracts and sell contracts. That's all it means. Spot on, dude. Thank you. No problem, Goober. I have a low volume node from the push up on Friday, 670, 682. Might need to be retested before we gap fill. Let's have a look. 670, 682 from Friday, you said, yeah? Let's have a look. Do. Is it this one? 682. 682. Where are we? Somewhere around here. So I'm assuming you did a let me just make this 24. I'm assuming this one around here. No, 682 is like here. I can't quite get that low volume node to appear. I got one here from today's session, and one. I got one from today's session, not on the daily, just a major. Oh, just a major push. Right, I'm with you. From Friday, yeah. Nils. So this major push. I can't quite seem to replicate it. Maybe you only did it from up to here then, maybe. 6:45 to 4:30, I'm assuming your time. So it will be like 5:45. So there till 6:30, so it'll be like, oh no, sorry, 4:30, so 3:30 for me. About here. And then 682. For some reason, my volume profiles is not quite, doesn't quite have that one. 670 to 682. Maybe do you have your numbers really high, like maybe at 50? So you're getting loads of smaller ones? But either way, there is one here on the current daily one that lines up perfectly to what you're saying. All right, let's have a look at what we're seeing here. I'm going to get rid of this black line. We don't need it anymore. I'm going to put a line here and a line at the bottom here. We're still very much kind of rangy right now. Damn, you're correct. Got them mixed up. No problem, Nils. No problem. So, still getting used to this DX. I'm kind of used to it now, to be honest. It's actually not that bad of a platform. Once you got these bracket things, it's not bad actually. And then the flattened buttons, executing is all right on DX futures. Didn't like it at first, but I'm kind of growing on me, the DX futures platform, so quite like it. All right, let's see what can we figure out here. So we again, yeah, so they did push down quite a bit. Now we're starting to see, I mean, in hindsight, I can kind of see that this was probably a nice entry. But truth be told, I didn't see the numbers in real time, how they jumped and how they were formed. So I still think it's going to be a bit choppy around here. I don't think we're just taking off. Usually when the market is kind of rangy, when it does take off, it takes off quick. All right, so buyers are willing to come in here. There seems to be a lot of buyers always willing to come in here. But they're not really propping the market up much. And look at that, sellers coming in. I'm just seeing if there's sellers are starting to fail a bit as well. I'm just trying to see the chunks of volume that's coming in. 170, 146. So there are a little bit of buying, but not big chunks. We want to see like 60, 70 chunk, you know, like this go. Oh, that was definitely someone got stopped out there. You just saw them instantly, that number spike up. There's a nice big buy chunk. There's a bit of buying. Oh, I can't. I'm going to enter again because I want to see if those buyers can prop it up. Can we get that extension? Oh no, instantly they start failing. That's not good for those buyers. We can have a super tight stop. Keep it there. Nah, that looks very bad. Pretty much happy to almost exit, but I might as well just, you never know, buyers might just come in this second and push it up, but it's somewhat doubtful. The fact that those buyers failed very quickly, but they're starting to come back in. I'm starting to debate whether to get in on my cash now. All right, I'll do a small position on my cash. Okay, I'm in. At least to the top of the range, maybe. If we can get back to that top of the range. But there was a bit touch and go there. I genuinely thought I was about to get stopped out there. I didn't expect the buyers to actually take control again. But they were very close to losing it there. Because they put in a lot of volume, but then instantly were kind of pushed back a bit. So it got a bit, you know, worrisome for them. But here's where it matters. Can the buyers, are they willing to buy at the top? I'm going to go to break even because I need to manage my cash account. Are they willing to buy at the top? 83, 70, 80, 90, 140, 130, 140. There's a bit of buying, but not a lot. Again, they're kind of just not really. We need to see that aggression come in again. That's it. Come on, push up. Add. Sellers are still taking the opportunity to short the market. And notice we never really saw a spike at the top of that range in buy volume, essentially indicating sellers didn't actually get stopped out at the top here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't see any spike in volume at the top here. Granted, it's not been, you know, the longest range, so we haven't accumulated that much volume, but I would have expected when we took out, you know, the high here, bit of a spike in volume here to indicate some sellers got stopped out, but apparently not. Sellers are still very much in this market, meaning they have reason to keep adding and keep getting this market down. They're you know, they've got skin in the game, meaning they're still going to play defensively here. Yeah, I'm going to get out my cash. I'm going to give it another. Actually, let's go to break even on my cash. And if it gets me out, it gets me out. It's no big deal. And I'm out. Okay, it got me out break even. Still technically in on this account, but I think I'm about to. Oops, site's frozen. There we go. We're back. All right, that went out break even. No big problem. Again, buyers are willing to come in at the bottom, not at the top. So we're still very much in a range, essentially. JB says bouncing off the 1 minute 200 EMA. Gotcha. Dun, 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 dun. Nothing yet. Come on. It's almost a perfect range. If you actually look at it, it's almost perfect. Again, buyers willing to go back in. They're not giving up. But neither are the sellers. Just waiting for some kind of sign. I want to see a big chunk of buyers just sort of enter. But they're not really that eager anymore at the bottom. So there's a good chance we might just break out at the bottom of the range and then buyers take that opportunity to jump in hard. Because they're not really that eager right now. Like, yeah, there's a few buyers coming in, but it's not really a decent amount. And look at that, boom. Look at that. All right, so I think we should see some volume spiking. I think that's definitely some stops getting hit there, that 216. Our entry could potentially come up. I want to see what happens here. I want to see fresh sell volume try come into the market, fail, and then buyers come in. That would be nice. There's a bit of buying came in because we were at 200, back to like 160, but essentially nothing. 120, 130. Just want to see some sellers come in. I want this number to go big on the sell side and then fail. If that happens, that would be great. Not yet. Not yet. Still nothing. And look at the volume distribution in these last few candles. Look how all the buyers at the top. So we're just being patient. We're just waiting for those sellers to start failing. All these kind of little pushes up, don't try and jump in on them. They usually never work out. Because sellers are very much in control. Just waiting for those sellers to actually stop, essentially, or exhaust themselves or fail. There's a bit of chunks of sellers coming in. All right, I want to see some failure happen around here, potentially. So they haven't really pushed it down much. So they're kind of failing a bit, but they are starting to push it down a bit, even with smaller numbers. If we get some big buyers coming in now and get above that 185, I'd be happy for potentially a long here. 93. Oh, instantly back down to. I didn't like that. That was some big buys, but instantly sellers reloaded. So I think these sellers need to fail. It's these guys we wanna squeeze out now. They're the really aggressive bastards right now. These guys here. So if we can squeeze them out, we've got a bullish move. So I'm going to get ready to potentially enter here. Oh, all right. Well, that happened instantly. Well, I mean, it hasn't really moved that much. I mean, God knows what happened there. All right, let's go in for a buy, I guess. I mean, maybe, I mean, that felt almost news-like to me. And then I'm going to have a bit of a bigger stop now, annoyingly. I mean, this 249, I didn't see how that got executed. Whether that was, sellers getting stopped out, whether those were fresh buyers, I don't know. But I'm going to try and assume that those are fresh buyers, and we really don't want to get much lower than those 249. We want to see them defend, so we want this number to go positive very quickly and get above them. We don't want to see sellers keep coming in. Otherwise, personally, I think that was just a little algo, jump, and with not much follow through, and we're just like nothing. So I want to get, that's it. Add a bit of volume at the top there. Good. All right. Keep adding. Keep adding. It's looking a bit better. $85, $65, $79. Come on. Break through. That's it. Now keep adding. Don't fail there. We don't want a false breakout now. Come on. None of that shit. We want the real deal. It's looking like a false breakout unless buyers are just get it up again. We'll give you one last chance, buyers. Come on. That's it. 120. Back to 107. 120. They're reloading. Good. Buyers are happy to reload now. We want to, that 150, we want to keep seeing buyers come in around this level to keep this market up. So we don't really want to go much lower than that candle now. Otherwise, that means buyers are starting to exhaust. I forget what the gap fill is. 804. Okay. Let's target 804. Something like that. No, it's 8784. Oh, this is why is the number different? I don't know. Oh, this isn't for contract change. Okay. Doesn't matter. We'll do it manually. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. All right, let's keep our focus on what the hell's going on the footprint. Didn't really have a look when I was looking at that. 20, I want to see buyers keep reloading. 35, 34, 32, 20. Sellers trickling in, but it's okay as long as buyers just big chunk. There we go, back to 30. 210s, good. Come on, keep adding those chunks. Let's get above that 54. 40, nice. 50, good. 75, that's what I want to see. Go, that's it. Good. 65. Come on. Oh, they got all the way back down to 6. That means sellers are still a bit more aggressive than buyers there. Buyers need to take another stab at it and add a bit more because they're not going to break through otherwise. Those sellers are a little bit annoying. I'm not going to lie. Oh, excuse me. A bit of a yawn there. 59, 53, 65. Come on, let's pop up above there. That's it. Good. 80, 65, 72, 59. They need a little bit more momentum on their side. They're being a bit shit here. Sellers are still coming in, these bastards. I'm not liking it. I just don't see enough momentum from the buyers. Come on. Fade off a little bit, those buyers. They don't have volume to kind of really break through with a lot of momentum. I'm going to give them another few seconds, maybe another couple of minutes most, breaking through, because they need a lot of volume in order to get through, create momentum, and then hopefully sellers give up as well. Generally speaking, sellers won't jump in if a lot of momentum. They'll wait. and they'll jump back in at the high or whatever, right? But while we're in this kind of choppy area, oh, that was nice. I didn't see exactly what happened there. That was adding a bit of volume. Good. Good. All right, let's come on. Got to get my finger on exit here. Now you see, look, sellers are still willing to jump back in. So buyers got to keep propping it up. They've got to fight against that sell volume. But every time they make a bit of progress, it slips a little bit. There's 52, 38, 33, 31, 38, 45. They're adding, but not in big chunks. Come on. We need to see back down. Oh, minus 84. All right, back to minus 41. So there was a good 40 chunk buyer there came in. So they do come in every time there's a bit of a pullback. They are willing to defend. They're just not aggressive enough higher up, which makes it a little bit difficult for them to truly break out. Come on. Come on, boys. 25, 18, 5, 8. It's all just trickling numbers, nothing big. We need like 60, 70, just in one go. Boom. We need a bigger number. Oh, look at all those sellers coming in. Let's just get above those sellers. Beat them off. Come on. Get above. Come on. That's it. Oh, instantly wiped them out. Beautiful. That's what I want to see. You see how that sell volume just disappeared in one blink of the eye? That's someone just wiping them out. That's what you want to see. But again, the sellers are coming back in. Those they still haven't given up. So we've got to keep doing that. We've got to keep basically wiping out all those sellers in order to get this market up. And eventually you kind of break through like a point where the sellers just kind of give up. That was nice again, how we kind of, knocked them down from like 70 to like 20 or something. Bit of a bigger chunk there. Good. Come on, prop it up. It's a very, very slow kind of, and it keeps giving sellers that opportunity to come back in because there isn't enough momentum behind it. Don't like it. Come on, get above that 110 quickly. Get above them. Come on, I want to see that number disappear. Otherwise, I'm going to get out. I don't like it. I don't like it. I am out. I don't like it. They're not ready yet, these buyers. I don't know what they're waiting for. But they just give sellers a little bit of a gap, a little bit of an opportunity to get the market down, And then the sellers are just willing to keep shorting it. I was hoping maybe, we didn't really take out the tops here. So they were defending more and more. A lot of seller, their stops are going to be up there. They're defending very. And then look, buyers are willing to come back in, but only once we've dropped a bit. Then they're willing to jump back in. But they need to be willing to enter up here in order to get that breakout. But if that doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Then sellers are just going to give them enough opportunity to take control a little bit, and then we just get another rotation, and it's up and down, and nothing really ever happens. So, bit annoying. Is that support and low volume nodes? Nana, the low volume node, yes, I don't know if it's still in play, to be honest. Marginally, but we've kind of broken through it a few times. It's kind of held, so I'm not putting too much emphasis on it. Like this one down here is a lot nicer if we do ever get there. It can happen. If we get down to this one, I would definitely be looking at longing. But this one's a little bit, it's been kind of constantly punched, and the buyers are just about holding on and are able to kind of, get it up a little bit, but then they fail and then we come back down. So I'm starting to question this low volume node. For me, it's not. I almost believe, I think sellers might actually take out the lows here because they're just a little bit more eager, and sellers are willing to short lower down. They're being more risky. The buyers are being a little bit too, I don't know, a bit too scared. Market's super indecisive today. No one knows what to do. Playing some range trades, but they are risky. Up so far, waiting for more info for the next moves. Very good, Tam. But yeah, absolutely, very indecisive today. I mean, we're still pretty much kind of around the open. We haven't really gone anywhere since the open. Like the open's there. All right, we're a bit lower down, but ultimately we're kind of within that sort of area. We haven't really gone anywhere. So yeah, range, kind of treating it as a range is probably the best way to trade this market. But I'm going to hold off. I'm not, truth be told, I don't think the buyers are going to, I think the sellers might break through down here. The buyers have had a few opportunities now to try and take control, and they keep failing at the most critical points. And I just don't see it happening, really. You know? Autumn, good to see you. Henny says, sellers defending the Queen of England at this point. But look at this, look at that. You got to give it to the sellers. They're willing to short literally at the bottom of a range. They're ballsy. The buyers aren't that ballsy. So the sellers are going to take it. You know, look, and they're breaking through now. And look at all those buyers getting stopped out. See that massive spike in volume? All right, now buyers have come back in again. That was negative 400. And now it's at negative 260. So maybe, 140 or so buyers came in one go. But sellers are more ballsy right now. They want it more. They're willing to put more risk on the table. The buyers are a little bit, I mean, now they're coming in quite strong, these buyers. Or potentially that is some of the sellers actually getting stopped out. I'm going to go one more time, and I'm going to assume that those buyers are real buyers. So I'm going to assume that the buyers just wanted to, I don't know, are going to take it here. I'm going to come really aggressive. But if we really go much lower than that, I want to get out. Yeah, see, it's already, sellers took control very quickly there. They didn't fuck around, did they? They looks like they might just take it. It looks like they will. Our buyer's going to come back in at that 260 because that's where the original buyer came in. At that 266. 11, 34, 43. It's just small numbers, man. 69. They're not going to break through if they're adding. Yeah, so I think this 243 at the top here, this buy, I think that was just a few sellers basically getting trailed out. I don't think that was legit buy volume. There's legit buy volume right there. That's 78. All right, so this buyer who came in here, because remember, that was negative 400. So we know that there's a decent buyer that came in there. They're the only person holding this up right now. So if they don't become super aggressive and they fail, yeah, then this is going down. And this trade isn't going to work out. So basically, our trade rests on that person there, which is not great. And it looks like they might be exiting. Look at those sell volume coming in. I'm going to give them a little bit more of a few more seconds to maybe make this happen. But ultimately, I think the sellers are still willing to short at the bottom. Come on, buyer. Where are you? 24, 46, 52. Sellers are still adding. I think that buyer's gone. Yeah, maybe not. Oh, it was so close. They're really holding on. I mean, fair play to that buyer. He just about held on. Now they're adding. Okay, it's down to these buyers. They got to get this market up. If they fail again, then I'm just going to get out because there's no point waiting to get stopped out then. But if these guys fail, I mean, they just about clinged on there. I mean, that was skin. They just about managed it. Come on. I have got in my cash account, like right here, because if this fails here, I'm going to get out. So I can have a super tight stop. Let me just manage my cash. I'll be looking at potentially getting out. They couldn't get it up. Come on, 92.36. So they are still jumping in, those buyers. Nah, they're failing. I think. Son of a bitch. They're still holding on, though. They haven't got out. These sellers are just a little bit too aggressive. I might get out pretty much a break even here. All right, I'm out on my cash at break even. I don't like it. They're just too aggressive. These sellers. I'm going to give it a little bit more time. Maybe I'll still be willing to jump in, but I want to see a bit more. I'm going to leave the Ola Prime account running, but I'm out on my cash. But yeah, they just. Oof. Sellers are still adding. They are determined, these sellers. Look at that. They're adding good volume right at the bottom. Let me move this black line to the bottom here. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, this is a battle. It is massive absorption right now. You're absolutely right, Tams. Coach C, on behalf of everyone, thank you for all your valuable insights every day. Great channel. Thank you, Coach C. Oh, now the buyers are coming back in. Are they actually going to be able to? Oh, I'm debating whether to jump back in. I just don't like the fact that we're the top of that range. Fuck it. Who cares? I'm going to jump in again. Really tight. My stop can be below that 110. Yeah, it's very dangerous to jump in at the top of the range. I need to see buyers keep coming in. Otherwise, let me just get this. I am in a bit of drawdown. Come on. I don't like that 61. We need to get above it. I may have just bought at the top of the range. Come on. Come on, buyers. Get above. Oh, sellers are still trying to short it. I think the sellers have got this. Come on. Just break above. Oh, they're still coming in. But there was a little bit of hope there from the buyers that they were willing to add that volume. I need to see them. Okay, good. Good. All right, I'm in a bit of profit. Come on. Keep it going. Come on, you bastard. Pop it. Pop. Any second now, we're going to pop above. Any second now, we're going to get it. We're going to get a nice pop. Come on, surely. Because buyers are adding quite aggressively. Smaller chunks, but they're adding. Don't give those sellers any room to, like that, right there, where we lose a bit of momentum. We cannot allow that to happen. Because look, then they add those sellers, 100 contracts, and then they can just push it down. So we need to keep that momentum going. We can't even give them, 2 seconds of a gap. It needs to be constant. Boom, 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 like a stream of just orders coming in. But it's good that we're above that 54. The volume distribution is slowly starting to look a bit more bullish now. But we can't allow those sellers to get any grip on this market. We need to stay above that, where those sellers are coming in. That's it. Stay above them, but then add. See that minus 21? I want to see that go to like plus 60 or something in one go. But Unfortunately, these bastards have come back in. Come on, buyers. You slipped up one more time. If we get below that 98/43 there on that bigger candle, we're out. I think we might have to. Come on, buyers. Come on, you bastards. Get above that 98. Come on, get above. What are you waiting for? Add your volume. Add. Still in the range, sadly. Still in the range. Couldn't. I'm out. I'm getting out. Don't like it. All right, I'm out on my cash. I had to take a loss on that one. Just couldn't get it again. Very close. We were so close to doing it. Just couldn't do it. And sellers have just taken control. All right, fine. There's all the buyers dropping out now. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so I think this is still a gap. Let me have a look. It is a gap. It's drawn a bit badly, but it is a gap. So, okay. Next area of interest. Wait a second. Where's my table? Oh, there it is. It disappeared for a second there. No idea. I think it is consolidation after this market expansion, lower after big reversal, bullish. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's a very kind of mixed market right now, but the sellers ultimately they want it more than the buyers. I think people are very cautious buying because we've had such a bullish week. A lot of people are a bit like, we're kind of expecting a pullback, you know. Good day to you, Sammy. Roma, is it Romna? Romna, sorry. I always say Roman to you. Sorry. How are you? I'm very good. How are you? 15-minute opening range breakout low is 26,733. Getting above and staying above seems tough now. Yeah, they almost had it, the buyers. I mean, they're just not willing to add volume where it matters, you know? They're good at adding volume near, every time the sellers push it down a bit, they'll add a bit of volume. But when it comes to trying to break out, they're just not willing to add enough size to get, to really squeeze them out. But I do think that they will do it. We're just going to drop a little bit more, unfortunately. Sellers are not letting buyers breathe. Exactly. I got to hand it to the sellers, though. Like, I really do. They're being so ballsy. They're just willing to short always at the lows. They don't care. They're just shorting it, you know? Like, I'm not even going to look at this buy volume as like, oh, buyers going back in. I'm going to give it a little bit more time. Give it a little bit more time. Where is the point of control? Oh, okay, it's moved up, but the point of control was here earlier, which essentially is basically the same. I mean, it doesn't really matter the difference in the node. So that's very similar to point of control right now. So I'm expecting something actually here. Oh, something's going on. Again, buyers willing to come in at the point of control. Fair enough. But I don't think I want to see sellers actually stop. Do you know what I mean? The moment I see sellers not really that interested in the market, then I'll be more willing to jump in because buyers aren't aggressive enough to get this market back up. They'll have little wins, don't get me wrong. A couple of candles, they'll be able to push it up, but then they ultimately always fail. And look, sellers are just willing to come in with size again. 282. Do you know what I mean? Right at the bottom, just shorting it. They don't care. We're at the point of control. They're shorting it at the bottom. They are mental right now. They do not care. So until they stop that kind of behavior, it's going to be very hard for the buyers to break through them. Come on, boys. What am I allowed to lose? I actually don't know what I'm allowed. This is a challenge account, so I don't know what I'm allowed to lose or what. I need to actually look. As crazy as it sounds, although I work for Ola Prime, I actually don't know. I've never really done a challenge account properly. It doesn't say here. I have to log into the actual. I think it's 6% or something. I might be wrong. Let me check actually. Look at the own rules. I don't even know if I'm like within the rules, because it will look bad if I below a challenge account, an Ola Prime challenge account live on streams. I've got to make sure I'm sticking with the risk limits. They'll be like, Sammy, what's going on? If they catch me blowing an account. So I'm like, dude, man, you're meant to be a professional. What are you doing? Oh dear. So I am 6% profit target. Max loss will be, wait a minute, futures 100K. The profit target 6. Okay, 3% daily draw. Okay, so I'm well within it. That's fine. So I have to make, since it's a 100K account, I have to make 6K to pass it essentially, and I can lose like 3K. All right, that's fine. Yeah, I'm well within the limits. Good. Nothing to worry about there. Value area low at 26,682 for session volume profile is another stand there. Absolutely, yes. I agree. Ouch. Session VPOC just moved down to 26,696. Yeah. So we're bang on basically the point of control right now. I mean, I would say there's basically 2 points of controls. Like this area is heavy and this one here. They're basically almost the same. I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, they're pretty much identical. Friday gap fill. Absolutely. I mean, we're looking for that gap fill to happen. The top of the gap is right here. We got like 13 points away, Hussein. We're still, because I would be interested in shorting it at the top of the gap. I mean, 13 points, you could say, all right, look, we did fill it. But still, I like to actually truly fill it, you know? I like to truly fill it. Here, we're just kind of ranging a bit again. Nothing too interesting. But I am actually, oh, this is not looking bad, actually. Do you know what I'm liking right now? The fact that we basically touched that gap. Sell volume is kind of on the lower distribution. I want to see if buyers are willing to come in here. Otherwise, I'll be happy to jump in. I might be happy to buy here. All right, I'm happy to buy. I'm going to go in for a buy, even though we're at the top of the range, because I believe I need to figure out where to put my stop. I may have jumped in a little bit too early, but I do like the volume distribution. If the volume distribution changes, I will get out. But I like the fact that the majority of the sell volumes at the bottom, and I just want to keep my eye on these numbers here. Are the buyers willing to keep adding at the top? And I saw for a few seconds earlier on the last candle, or this candle, they were willing to add. All right, now we need to keep seeing them, you know, what's the word? Adding, basically, because this is where the buyers always failed before. They would do a little breakout and then they just stop adding volume. But it's good. 55, 39. All right. There are some sellers coming in 50, 40, 47, but we need bigger numbers. They're still not adding, these bastards. They're still not willing to add. Not ready yet. It's just a little false breakout. And look, sellers are willing to come back in. Nah, it's not ready yet. For a split second, they could have taken it. Where shall I figure out about getting out? I mean, realistically, where the stop is kind of the safest place, but I don't like what I'm seeing here. I think I'm pretty much, I can't imagine buyers taking this, to be honest. Not yet. What happened there was not good. Unless they're willing to come back. Oh, instantly out. Jeez, that was news or something. Holy moly. All right, something's come out. Let's have a look. While financial juice loads, something is come out. If anyone has the quick financial juice, let me know, because this always takes a few minutes to what's it called, to update for me. But that is definitely something. Diddy candle. Come on, financial juice. I always get the news about like 4 minutes later. And then it never loads because everyone's refreshing at the same time. But that was definitely news-based. Oh, all right, this ain't loading. It's just spinning around. Come on. I need to know. Just waiting. All right. Well, while financial... Oh, science loaded. Great. Yeah. So the whole website doesn't want to load now. Let's refresh again. If anyone can access the news, write in the comments, because it's just not loading for me. It hasn't updated anything yet. So let us know what came out. We love crashing the juice. Yeah. That's completely crap. Oh, here we go. There it is. Trump, highly unlikely I'll extend ceasefire with Iran. Okay. All right. Well, guys, it's starting to look bearish again. This is, well, that kind of makes sense now why this whole session, when we were talking about how sellers were just ballsy as hell, you know, are saying like they're just willing to keep shorting no matter where, like at the bottom of the range. They're just that, they're really ballsy. Yeah, of course they're ballsy because there's definitely insider trading still happening, but they're doing it a lot better now. Notice the insider trading we are seeing is less obvious. It's more now kind of, it just looks ballsy, you know? Oh, they're willing to short lower down at the bottom of a range. Whereas before it was just someone dropped, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of positions in just one random area for no real reason. And that was but that was too obvious. So I think they're doing it a bit more subtly now. Okay, so essentially, I mean, highly unlikely I'll extend ceasefire of Iran. Why? Like, what's the reason for that? You know, what's changed since last week? Everything was looking so good, and then all of a sudden. But I said it as well last week. I don't buy this whole like, oh, everything's gonna looks good and it's gonna be peaceful. I didn't buy it for a minute. I thought, nah, So it didn't make any sense. Why all of a sudden, do you know what I mean? What objective was there? So, all right. Well, it looks like we're on the negative cycle of the news. So overall, I'm going to start looking at being bearish again because this market lately, technicals matter, don't get me wrong. But ultimately, the overall direction, oh, here we go, completely matters on what is going on here. Let's have a look. Ceasefire expires Wednesday evening, Washington time, no problem. Will not open Strait of Hormuz until deal signed. Okay, so Iran is saying that? Iran won't open the strait? Well, it has to be, right? Vance will leave for Pakistan later on Monday, okay? All right, well, I mean, is he currently in a press conference? What is going on? Because this looks like he's just talking again, and they're just, taking quotes. If he is just talking again, be very careful trading now because he will say something and boom, one candle will go up and the next candle will go down, and it just becomes, do you know what I mean? It becomes a shit show. It's very hard to kind of trade when everything is just complete, based on whatever he wants to say. So, but overall now, yeah, I'm going to be looking way more bearish now that that's come out. But I would like to know why. What's the reasoning for this? Because he said it himself. It's all about opening the Strait of Hormuz. All right, fine. They're not going to open it until some sort of deal is signed. Fair enough. I don't think that's too unreasonable. But then because last week it was the reason the market rallied so hard was because Trump was saying, "Oh, they will never close the Strait of Hormuz again," which is a bit of a silly thing to say because, of course, they'll just close it the moment. They're not gonna. It's not if it escalates again, they're just gonna close it again. That's all that's gonna happen. They're never gonna be like, "Okay, no, we won't close it." Of course, they'll close it, but that caused a massive rally essentially. So if you're not extending the ceasefire or making a permanent kind of, end the war essentially, all that's going to happen is they're just going to open it again, and then the same shit's going to happen. Everything's going to tank, and we just do the same. Nothing actually changes, so everything will just plummet again. So I don't know. This is but notice how the markets aren't rallying as hard as they used to. Back in the days, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Look, it's a big move, right? I mean, how many points was this candle? 82 points. Don't get me wrong. 82 points is big, right? It's a big move, but it's not as big as you would expect. And recently, the moves haven't been that gigantic. Because it's just been a constant, like, it's almost the market's kind of like, right, something gets said and then it kind of very quickly decides, to reverse again. It's just not really. People are they're taking what's being said as a grain of salt more now. They're not taking it as gospel anymore. It wasn't how it used to be. Because honestly, like, if this was any other time, and say we were at war with some other country or whatever, and some breaking news came out, no ceasefire, or the ceasefire is going to end. Oh my God, this market would be like constant red candles just dumping like crazy. There wouldn't be this kind of just one random spike and then everything calms down again. It would just be like a big sell-off, because there'll be so much panic. But this is more like algorithms pick up on it, make a quick buck, but no one's really panicking. The market doesn't really panic, So whether, if this continues and the ceasefire gets obviously, broken and it doesn't continue and everything just goes back to how it was. Sorry, no, the other way around. If it doesn't hold up and it ends, like, yeah, we go all the way back down again to the lows. I don't think the market's going to react as crazy as it did, potentially. Because we're kind of getting used to it now, you know? Because every day there's been something for the last like couple of months. Every day there's been some kind of update with what's going on, and there's been some kind of crazy spike up or down or whatever. It's just become the norm now, you know? It's not really that shocking anymore. So who knows? Who knows? There is no expectation that his comments need to make sense. But again, we are still seeing insider trading happening. But it was more subtle than it used to be, which is interesting. So I think someone got a bollocking. Yeah, someone got told off. Like, the hell are you doing? You can't make it that obvious. Control yourself, you know? It's not really a great place to short either at the moment. Just kind of waiting for. I don't even know what I'm waiting for right now. I'm just waiting for some kind of. This is just limbo right now, the market. Actually, what would be good is to check if that seller, because we had a seller earlier that just was willing to short always at the bottom, didn't really care where they were just coming in like aggressively, but in stages, right? They weren't making it too obvious, but we were kind of tracking them because we found it a bit suspicious a little bit. I didn't immediately jump to insider trading, but we were a bit suspicious in the fact that there were sellers willing to transact lower down at ranges. And we're like, damn, they really want it, don't they? And that's kind of making sense now. Now that that's come out, okay, yeah, all right, fine. Of course they really wanted it. They wanted to build up a position. But let's see is that still happening? That's the big question now. Because if it's not happening anymore, then we can kind of conclude that that person who was insider trading is no longer interested in shorting. If they're no longer interested in shorting, then maybe nothing more is really going to come out and the markets will start stabilizing a bit. We could start going up again. We could potentially go down. But like then it becomes a bit more normal kind of conditions, right? But it does look like they are still willing to short. I mean, we did have a bunch of sellers come in quite aggressively there. We didn't take out the low, so it can't be, well, it's unlikely it's buyers getting stopped out. So there were some aggressive sellers again willing to go in. Let's see, are they still willing to constantly short and just add volume for no, just be very aggressive? There are still buyers willing to come in, but that doesn't surprise me. Buyers have been willing to jump in lower down the whole day. But yeah, look, sellers are, I mean, that's probably stops, to be fair. That wasn't real volume. But overall, yeah, I'm going to switch to bearish overall. Now that news has come out, I am definitely more bearish on this market. Yeah, sellers are still willing to short the market. All right, fair play. Fair play to the sellers. So we're going to look for pullbacks of some kind, and trying to see if we can get something here. I mean, I'm not that super interested in any of these gaps. Oh shit, what have I done? There we go. I'm not super interested in any of these gaps, to be honest. There's nothing really majorly nice here. Let me get rid of that. I don't need that. Doesn't look too great. I mean, there's a decent one at the bottom here, but that's miles away. We're not touching that. Unlikely. It's not that far away, to be fair. Could get there actually. We've taken out the low of the day. No, we haven't. Well, yeah, no, we haven't. The low of the day is down here, so we haven't taken it out. That was market open. Okay, actually, this area doesn't look too bad now. We could get there, to be fair. I thought that was miles away. So yeah, volume distribution is looking very bearish now. All the buyers at the top. Sellers are still willing to constantly short lower down. So I think sellers are very much still in this market. The question is, where are they going to get out? That is the big question. Now we can make assumptions. Low of the day would be an obvious one. So just marking out the low of the day would be not a bad idea. And then you got obviously, yeah, I'd say low of the day might be interesting, and this little gap below it. When we get there, we'll see what happens. Do sellers get out the market, or are they still holding? If sellers start deciding to get out around here and taking profit, that can give buyers an opportunity to buy it back up. Because I don't think there's going to be that much news anymore. I think that was kind of the main thing. Nothing's really, I mean, I say that, but we don't know. I mean, anything could come out. But I feel like news-wise, we're kind of probably done. Watch the market just crash because news comes out. But boy, oh boy, we got 13 points away from filling the weekend gap. What a crazy, crazy market. All right, let's see what happens when we get to the low of the day. The LOD. The LOD. The markets have gone on lithium for the bipolar news. What a time to be alive, JB, you know? What a time to be alive. Was there a big exit of shorts at that news candle low? Didn't seem like it, in my honest opinion. There was a slow buyback. Yeah, I don't think there was. I think that was mainly... Okay, well, obviously it's going to be majority algorithms, right? Shit ton of algorithms shorting, like boom, 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 because they get, you know, they're a lot quicker than any human. But then there's also like random pockets of bigger shorts will be buyers getting stopped out. So like that 400 probably lines up to somewhere where buyers would have had stops maybe. It doesn't really, to be fair, so maybe not. But yeah, there would have been, you know, just buyers getting stopped out as well. But majority would just be algorithmic trading. And then there was a bit of people trying to buy it back up, and ultimately it's just sort of gone back to normal. The gap magnet is strong. I know there's also a lot of betting happening on various gambling venues on this war. And so maybe some of the comments are being intentionally planned and made in order to trigger certain reactions. That's actually very interesting, ZT content. Yeah, that's actually very, very interesting. Oh, I wouldn't even want to know how much money certain people have made. Certain people in power, how much money they were able to make these last couple of months. But I'm assuming you're talking about like poly market and stuff like that. I actually saw on YouTube on my feed some person trying to expose poly market or something for. I need to watch the video. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Got very close to the low of the day, and all right, fair enough. I'm not chasing it though. I'm still more bearish on this market for now. I think the low of day will probably get taken out. Let's see if we see any sellers come back in. Are sellers going to short 29.5? Nothing really major. 20.14.6? Nah. Because we've probably got stops. We had stops above there. Buyers coming in actually very aggressive now. Okay, see, this is weird now. Why are buyers so eager to buy at the top? They weren't like this the whole day. When they should have been like that, they weren't. Now all of a sudden buyers are being very, very eager, and that's making me suspicious now. All of a sudden coming in big chunks of volume. Why? I don't know. Perhaps some of the insider trading has moved on to those venues. And that's why we're not seeing too obvious activity in these markets. Okay, sellers are coming in. Let's see if the sellers can potentially drop this market. But that made me a little bit suspicious. The fact that buyers were willing to come in so high up now, and they weren't willing to do that earlier. Who knows? For example, right now there's a huge bet being wagered on a ground invasion. I still think there will be a ground invasion. Truth be told, I still believe there will be. I genuinely believe there will be. I do think there will be a ground invasion. Boots on the ground, I've heard a lot of chatter about it, and overall, long term, I am way more bearish on this market than I am bullish, because I don't think it's going away anytime soon. I don't think the war's going to just disappear. I think it's going to just escalate. Obviously, I hope it doesn't, but I hope I'm wrong. But I genuinely do think it's just going to get worse. I think because if it ends now, nothing's really been like. What was the point of it? Nothing really happened. Do you know what I mean? So there was no real like, and I don't believe the whole nuclear to be the true kind of reason for it, because that's been said for decades since I remember being alive. It was always the same thing. Iran's always about to get nuclear weapons. Oh, that's very close. It's always the same thing's been said for like 30 plus years now. Don't think they randomly. It just doesn't add up to me. I think it's a much bigger play here. So I think ground invasion was pretty much always on the cards. That's my bet, but that's just purely gut feeling. There's no sort of, I don't have any special knowledge about it. Purely gut feeling. I mean, you almost got to look at the markets now as a way of what would make the most sense in terms of profitability. Do you know what I mean? So we had, last week and the week before, we just had this huge push up, right? All-time highs. Wow, everything was looking great. If there's ever a time to short the market, would be now, right? Because if the market crashes for whatever reason, you're gonna make a shit ton more money if it crashes at all-time highs than if it crashed at, down here somewhere where the market's already dropped however many percent. How many percent was that? 14%, That's 14% right there. And if it crashes even further, you can get 20, 30% rather than maybe 10%. So all this kind of, peace talk, I think it was get the market up and then announce something else and the market crashes down. So I'm overall, I'm bearish on this market for now. Like long term, I'm bearish. So we'll see. We shall see. But it's a bit annoying that any of the insider trading is not as obvious as it was. Sometimes it was so obvious. But it was always obvious in hindsight. That's the annoying thing. There's been a few times, even on the live streams, I tried to catch insider trades. And it wasn't, nothing really happened. I was like, damn. And then when it does happen, you spot it and you're like, it's so obvious. So I don't know. I'm not very good at catching the insider trades. It's a new skill I'm trying to learn. I mean, that would be a great skill to have, though. If you could identify insider trading at any point. Can you imagine how rich you'd be? How easy trading would be if you could just identify insider trading. Might not be a bad skill to learn, to be honest. The thing is, it can be done in so many different ways. That's the problem. Like, it can be done 4 weeks in advance. And then, do you know what I mean? It's really, really hard to kind of know what that person is, what kind of position they're building up. Like, we definitely saw it earlier. Just the sheer fact that the sellers wanted it more. They wanted it, like, unusually. They were just a little bit too eager, the sellers, And they were coming in weird areas. They weren't really coming in that logically generally makes sense in the market. Like if loads of sellers come in at the top, yeah, all right, fine, that makes sense. Of course they're coming in at the highs. Like that's what sellers do. But they were just willing to short at the lows, which again just makes it a little bit suspicious. See, and this is where it starts getting a little bit suspicious on the buy side right now, because buyers have become that little bit eager. But I don't think. But the question is, is this insider trading? Probably not. I really don't know. But if there's a random news spike and it shoots up, then I'm like, okay, yeah, it was. But it's very hard to know in that moment if it is or isn't. But again, you're seeing buyers willing to buy near the top. Now, that in itself is not suspicious, right? But we haven't really gone anywhere super significant. Like, yes, if we touch the all-time, not the all-time low, the low of the day, and then a bunch of buyers start coming in, they're trickling in, and then yeah, okay, that's quite normal. Like you would expect that to happen. That makes logical sense, right? From a trading perspective. But just a random kind of area, we're not at the low of the day. It's a bit random, and then all of a sudden buyers are very eager to buy near the highs. It does seem a little bit odd. It does seem a little bit strange. I don't know. I don't know. We shall see. This is Israel's big gamble. They're betting the house on it. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. This whole Iran thing's a huge, huge gamble. And truth be told, I don't think it will really pay off. I think it's a very, very bad move. But then again, you don't know exactly. I mean, they're not idiots, you know. They know what they're doing. I think sometimes we underestimate the politicians. This could be, I think someone on the previous stream was talking about how they saw something about, this is all one big elaborate plan to get the world to buy US or be somewhat dependent on US oil. I wouldn't put it past it. I mean, it sounds a bit mental, but at the same time, it kind of makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Oh, look at this. Maybe it is insider trading. Is that a news candle? Or is that news? I don't know. It didn't seem quick enough to be news. I don't know. I don't want to refresh financial juice because it would just crash otherwise. It didn't quite look like news, to be honest. It was a little bit slow, but it had a bit of volume behind it and a bit of. I don't know. It might have been something minor. 40 points is not bad. Not bad at all. You know? Oh, look at this buy volume coming in. Look at this. This does look a bit news-like. This is looking a little bit suspicious how the buy volume's willing to come in higher up again. If that wasn't news related, I'm suspicious about this. Sammy, ask for Ola Prime to pay for the real-time financial juice sub for you. Good idea. I might actually have to ask him to do that. I'm going to refresh financial juice. Maybe they'll. Nothing's come out by the looks of it. Last news was 4/21. US to host talks between Israel and Lebanon. That's nothing major. That was on this candle, so I don't think it really would be. I don't think that's it. It's very weird. I don't know. But the volume coming in from the buy side is looking suspicious. Again, look how buyers are willing to buy so high up. Similar to how the sellers earlier were willing to short lower down. And we were like, that's a bit weird. And we started seeing it much earlier again. And I wouldn't be surprised if something comes out and this is insider trading because we started seeing it down here. And there's no real reason why buyers are so adamant to start buying higher up. This is not normal trading behavior. Do you know what I mean? It's not what you typically see when it comes to trading. I'm almost expecting something, but then again, I don't know. I don't know. Taper's bright green right now, but not seeing any big suspicious orders. Yeah, they're doing it a lot subtly. They're drip feeding it in now, but it's where they're placing their orders is the only suspicious part. because it doesn't typically make sense where, like, those sellers before that little news candle, it was weird where they were placing their orders. The size itself wasn't that crazy because they drip fed it in between, all this, and that's all right, fine. But it's where they were placing it that was a little bit weird and a little bit off because it doesn't logically make sense. So who knows? We'll see. We shall see. Oh. Again, see, buyers willing to come in quite heavy near the top. Again, coming in heavy. These are fresh buy orders coming in quite high up. Like we just had news that looked negative, right? Why are buyers so confident now to buy at the top when earlier on they weren't that confident? Who are these buyers? Granted, we had a bit of we had a pullback, and we are overall in a bullish market, but still there hasn't been I don't know, man. It's a little odd to me. I'm not going to lie. It is a little odd. If they win, it's still a loss and get us much closer to a nuclear war, I think. Absolutely, yeah. And it's just the money itself. Like, it's not cheap, But then again, so many people important people make so much money from it, and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what the average man, The average person who's paying the price doesn't really matter. Bobby Fischer made some really interesting comments in his last interview. If you ever get a chance to watch him, I will definitely have a watch. Is it on YouTube, CT content? Yeah, this is weird. Look, buyers are piling up orders near the highs. This is not normal. I'm telling you guys now, this is not normal behavior. Like, you get spikes of big orders at highs. Absolutely, because that's, generally profit taking or people stops getting hit. But this is the current, 1 minute high, right? And the low is like around here somewhere. You're getting buyers coming in heavy, fresh buyers coming in heavy constantly. It's not completely normal for that to happen. And notice there's no real sellers in the market anymore. Whereas before that news, the sellers were eager, and they were doing exactly what the buyers were doing now. They were coming in at random areas at the bottom, quite heavy and constantly aggressive. And we were like, damn, they really want it. Now the buyers look like they really want it, don't they? I'm going to start switching to bullish again. I don't know. I really don't know. I keep asking myself, like, all right, suspicious, but what are the chances it's going to be insider trading? I think quite high, though. I think it is actually quite. Look, again, they're willing to come back in quite aggressively, these buyers. They're not fucking around at all. Oh, what was that? 1,200 contract. I'm telling you, something's going on. 25 past? Is that this? No. What happened at 25 past? So here, an Iranian delegation would travel to Pakistan on Tuesday in the New York Times, citing two Iranian. Okay, fine. Well, something's happening. What is it? Oh, this is a Canadian fucking consumer report. No, it's got nothing to do with it. Again, this is, look, if that wasn't a news reaction, I'm telling you now, that's suspicious, that this candle's volume. It's not normal. It's random. It's not normal. It doesn't make any sense. What time was that? 4:29 my time. 4:29. No, nothing apparently came out 4:29. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think this is insider trading happening right now on the buy side? Because it does feel like someone is buying and buying and buying, and I can't figure out their motivation. Oh, I don't know. I'm still waiting for maybe Financial Juice will update, give us a bit more clarity here. 4:29, nothing came out. All right, so what the hell was that? Was that an obvious insider trader again? Is Trump's son back at trading? Because I'm pretty sure it's him who was being so brazen in the past. He just entered like stupid amounts of. I think everyone was like suspicious of him. Or could it have been? Where was the news candle? 1 minute. So the top of the news candle was here. It doesn't really. No, it wouldn't have really been. I don't know. Buyers are still. No, the buyers have kind of. They're not really that aggressive anymore. I don't know, guys. I do not know. This has become a very, very difficult market to figure out right now. Because on one hand, I'm looking at the order flow, trying to look at it from a technical standpoint. And then on the other hand, I got that little voice in my head and saying, well, because like technically speaking, if you want to be really pedantic about it, you're seeing large amount buyers came in, sellers are coming in quite aggressive. We're kind of trading below the majority of the buyers. If sellers become aggressive here, we could actually break through and it could drop like it just did there. But the question is, it was looking a bit bearish. That's my point, right? But the thing is, what if it was an insider trader? What if all that volume on the buy side, well, they don't care if it drops a bit because they know something's about to come up and you're going to get a massive. This is what makes it so freaking annoying because you see the technical stand of it and you're like, okay, I should be shorting it. But then there's that little voice in your head that says, but what went on here? Why were their buyers willing to buy so aggressively at the top? Why did that random spike happen? What's the reason for it? So it kind of makes you nervous wanting to short because you're like, well, you could be walking into a trap here, But in terms of like a technical standpoint, yeah, around here, I'd be willing to short. Buyers are failing. Buyers just got stopped out a large chunk. At the bottom of this range. All right, fresh buyers are coming in. They're not being that effective. Like there's a lot of sort of evidence to suggest you should be shorting. But if it's insider trading, all that doesn't matter. Literally doesn't matter. Buyers are coming in still heavy. I don't know. Well, I don't really know, to be honest. I'll when a market's like this, when I'm 50-50 on something, and I can't. Best thing to do is not do anything. Let it play out. Whatever happens. But I'm not happy trading this market until when I'm conflicted like this. I don't like trading it because it just becomes a bit too. Yeah, it doesn't become nice. But guys, we've hit about 2 hours on the live stream, so I think I'll leave it there. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow again, same time, 9:30 Eastern, for more day trading. So join me then. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you all tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Thank you.